Have you ever wondered why narcissists seem to avoid taking responsibility for their actions? Like you keep trying to hold them accountable, you keep trying to say, hey, this is what you did. And they're like, nope, not going to be held accountable. Like, I don't want to be truthful. I'm not going to actually tell you what happened. I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to, like, none of it happens, right? You might be wondering, like, is it even possible? Like, is it possible for narcissists to change and also for them to accept accountability for their behavior? Because it seems like it's not happening at all. Well, I want to be able to talk into some of the aspects of narcissistic personality and share examples of like how I've avoided taking responsibility, of how I've moved through that, and then also why the majority of narcissists are never going to do that, why they're not going to actually work on themselves. Okay. So if you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor, self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse. Founder of Raw Motivations, the creator of the NARC app, your guide in the Escape Toxicity Challenge, which is a 7-day challenge for $7 to help you start to understand narcissistic abuse and also see how we teach. Like if you like what we teach, and we're like, hey, we have a plan to help move you forward, to help you heal, to help you grow, change, and develop. You can go to rawmotivations.com to be able to get access to everything. Just check that out there. Okay, if you want to work with me one-on-one, same thing, rawmotivations.com. If you're listening to podcasts, thanks so much. If everybody else, like, rate, review, subscribe. Send this to anybody to try to help other people get free. Okay. A lot of people are struggling with this idea of can a narcissist accept responsibility? I'm not going to touch into the whole piece of like, can a narcissist change? We've done different videos about that. But we're talking about specifically, can a narcissist accept responsibility? Now, so the first thing I want you to point out is avoiding accountability. Narcissists are fantastic at avoiding accountability. Why? Because there's a piece there of if I avoid accountability, I protect the mask. I protect the false self. I protect a version of myself that is not completely real. Okay, narcissists construct this false self, or a lot of times we'll talk about it as a mask, to be able to shield their fragile ego from criticism and shame. Okay, this is not a, oh, poor narcissist. Okay, this is just saying, hey, this is what it is. This is the facts of what it is. A narcissist develops something to be able to avoid the shit that's inside, to be able to avoid the things that are actually like, if people saw me, then they would hate me. If people saw me, then they would leave me. So I need to pretend that I'm a better person than what I actually am. I need to pretend I'm a different version of myself so that people like me. Okay, this is the piece that the narcissist builds the mask and it's customized for you. That's why the next person, the mask will look slightly different. The next person, the mask will look slightly different because it's customized for you so they can appear a certain way so they can be with you. Okay? The constructed persona of a narcissist, of a toxic person, is oftentimes perfect in its image, not reality. Perfect, faultless, and incapable of doing wrong. Okay? For me, I thought it was perfect. Right? I'm a great guy. I'm awesome. I show up this way. I do great at this job. All this kind of stuff. I thought I was perfect. And I would say that. This is how much the ego piece was there. Like I would tell my wife, it's tough being married to a perfect person, right? Like that's what I thought. That's how I lived. I was also incapable of doing wrong. So as a result, when something would come up and I did something wrong or I did something hurtful or I did something abusive, nope, couldn't handle it. Because I couldn't actually admit that I'd done something wrong. The first 7 years of our marriage, like saying the word wrong wouldn't even come out. I was wrong. Like it felt impossible. It felt like there was like something like caught up in my throat. I was less right, but I would never even say wrong. Wouldn't come out. To maintain this piece of the mask, of the facade, a narcissist will go to great lengths to avoid accepting accountability, to avoid accepting responsibility. One of the common ways is gaslighting. Making you feel like you're crazy for your reality and justifying the things they've done. You see, if I acknowledge the mistakes that I've done, it shatters the illusion of being perfect, the illusion that I look this way to society. Like working on the things that I've worked on over the past couple of years, like I had to get to the place of being willing to be very brutally honest about all the shit that I've done to shatter that, because otherwise it's so easy to put it back up. It's so easy to say, hey, I have a mask now, so this is great. Look at me, I'm perfect. No. What I've shown and what I've demonstrated is complete opposite of that. But I wanted to say, oh, I'm this perfect person. I'm this great person. When in reality, I was a liar and I was a cheater. And a ton of other things. But getting to the place of understanding the lies shatter the mask. Like when a person actually tells the truth, it starts to shatter the mask. But I didn't want to do that. So as a result, I'd avoid, I'd manipulate conversations, I'd blame other people, I'd project on other people, be super defensive, especially workplace. Criticism, no, that's not me. Let me get more people to tell you it's not me. Like all this kind of stuff. To protect the false image, protect any perceived flaws, I had to keep the mask. Because we run into this piece of narcissists are huge at avoiding the truth. Don't want to touch it. I did a stack the other day, and one of my people in Thriver, one of my year-long clients, she like messaged, she was like, is this actually true? Like how you actually view shame? She's like, what does it actually look like? I was like, shame a lot of times feels like vulnerability, feels like death because it's exposing. Now I've shifted the frame. I talked about this on a live the other day. I've shifted the frame of how I view shame to be able to help actually liberate me from the toxicity, from the lies. You see, for a narcissist to actually accept responsibility, they have to confront the uncomfortable truths about themselves and their actions. Like, this is not something that anybody likes to do, especially a narcissist, because it's like, that breaks down my ego. That breaks down my mask. That breaks down the stuff that I've done that I don't want to admit I've actually done. So we step into the place of truth, and most narcissists run for the hills because they're unwilling to confront the shit that's inside. Narcissists get to the place where they're like, I don't want to be truthful because it exposes vulnerabilities, it exposes weaknesses that I'm trying to avoid. So let me keep that at bay. I talked about this in the video a couple days ago about shame. Okay? Because facing the truth means acknowledging imperfections. It means acknowledging that I'm not the best. It means acknowledging that I do stuff wrong, which goes against the very essence of the false self. You have to understand the false self, the mask that a narcissist puts up. When they start to speak truth, it shatters the mask. This is why there's been so much change and so much development in my life, because when I started to proclaim the truth of the shit that I've done, it shatters the perception, it shatters the persona, it shatters the mask that I put out there for so long that I'm a great guy. Instead, I just show up real and say, hey, this is the stuff that I've done. And this is who I'm attempting to be every single day. Growing, changing, developing, helping myself heal, and leading others in that process as well. But the thing is, if you cannot have truth, you cannot have change. Not in your life, not in the narcissist's life, not in the empath's life, not in your kid's life, not in anybody's life, not in any human being on the planet. There is no possibility for change. There is no possibility for true transformation until you have this prerequisite of truth. No transformation can happen unless there is honesty. If you do not have a foundation of truthfulness, of honesty, of vulnerability, you have no foundation. This is like you trying to build a house without laying the foundation, without laying the concrete. And then you wonder, why is the floor cracking? Why is it shifting under the pressure? Why is the house falling apart? It's because there is no foundation. If you do not have a foundation, an underlying truth, that this is the truth, this is honesty, this is vulnerability, you have no foundation. What that correlates, what that means to you, is if you do not have honesty in your relationship, you do not have a relationship. You're like, that seems aggressive. Because I need you to hear it. I need you to hear that if you are with someone that is not willing to be honest, you do not know who you are with. My wife would have never married me if she knew the person that I was. She wouldn't have done it. The majority of you wouldn't have gotten to your toxic relationship if you knew ahead of time, this is the toxic person I'm with. You wouldn't have done it. I ask people this all the time. I'm like, hey, would you put up with a stranger that walks up to you on the street and treats you the same way that your husband does? And she's like, no. I'm like, do you see the difference? There's a disconnect because you're blinded by love. There's a disconnect because you're in the trauma bond. There's a disconnect because you haven't woken up to the truth of the reality of the situation that you're in. Because this person will continue to future fake you, gaslight you, lead you on saying they're going to do a bunch of things. But if there is no truth, you have nothing. Narcissists refuse to accept responsibility and confront the truth. And as a result, it impedes any potential for growth, any potential for change. There is not a possibility of a narcissist accepting responsibility. There is not possibility for a narcissist to change or transform. There is not possibility for any human on the planet to grow, change, and develop if they are living a life that is absent of truth. This is why you stay stuck for such a long period of time. Because we look at truth and we look at the situation, you're like, I'm not sure what to believe. I'm not sure what to accept. I'm not sure the facts of the situation. And as a result, we start to get into cognitive dissonance, distort reality, believe a different version, convince ourselves it's not that big of a deal, minimize it, and stay stuck in the toxicity for a long period of time. Narcissists will not take accountability and responsibility without having the truth involved. If you have no truth, you have no relationship. If you're not able to look at the facts, you won't get to the truth for you to get clarity, for you to heal. This is what we teach. This is what I practice. This is what we put into effect in our communities of helping people understand we have to deal with the facts, because that is the only thing that will set you free, because it unlocks your viewpoint so you can actually see the truth of the situation. And then when you have clarity and confidence and certainty, you can make the decision that is required for you to actually grow, change, and develop you. If you're interested in that and if you resonate with that, then reach out. Go to rawmotivations.com, click on the one-on-ones, let's talk. The communities, the style that we teach, the things that I say, the truth and the facts that I'll push you towards, it's not meant for everybody. But if you're at the place where you want to transform and grow and get out of the cycle that you've been in with toxic relationship to toxic relationship, we have a plan. We have a step-by-step process, action plans, and tools that actually help get you to the place that you get free from the toxicity that's running and currently ruining your life. Reach out for help. Go to rawmotivations.com, click on the one-on-ones. Let's set up a time to talk and see if you're a good fit for our Thriver community. We can move forward from there.